Hey, welcome back to Retro Wind. I'm Jasmine Cole. Big headline to open with: Brandy is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Monday, March 30th. Hollywood Boulevard, cameras, that long strip of terrazzo and brass stars. It's one of those moments that feels both shiny and deeply, quietly meaningful for people who grew up with her. If you need the elevator pitch, Brandy Norwood, singer, actress, the voice that shaped late 90s and early 2000s R&B, now literally cemented on the Walk of Fame. Today, we're celebrating that.
Wow, yes. Marcus here, but you could call me MJ. I'm so hyped, Jasmine. The visual of a Brandy star on Hollywood Boulevard? Goosebumps! This is huge for the music side and for everybody who learned harmonies from her records.
Okay, Marcus, let's set the scene for folks who weren't there in the era or who maybe only stream the hits now. The Walk of Fame is this public ceremonial recognition with speeches, fans, the press, but it's also this odd mix of pop lore and legit cultural bookkeeping. When Brandy steps up for that plaque on March 30th, it's more than a shiny tile. It's decades of influence being acknowledged in a very public way.
Right. And tune in, because for musicians, that public nod matters. It says you weren't just a moment, you were a legacy. For people who grew up on her music, it's validation, you know?
Totally. Let's rewind a little. Brandy's arc is classic story driven. Discovered as a teenager, debut album dropped in the mid 90s with singles like I Wanna Be Down that announced her as a new R&B voice. But then she didn't stay in one box. She became the lead in Moesha, a sitcom that, remember this, centered a black teen girl in a household name show. For so many of us, seeing Moesha on TV was formative. And then there's Cinderella, that Rodgers and Hammerstein TV movie where Brandy played Cinderella in a multiracial cast. That moment was huge for representation.
Oh man, Cinderella. I mean, when she sang in that film and visually too, it was groundbreaking. By the way, people forget she was simultaneously building her recording career. Never Say Never, that album changed the game. The Boy Is Mine with Monica was everywhere. Chart success, TV credibility, film moments. She moved between mediums like it was the most natural thing.
Exactly. She was a multi-hyphenate before that term was cool. And hearing her story again makes you realize how rare it was then, and still is, for someone to balance mainstream pop success and lead roles on TV and big cultural moments that cross generations.
Let's talk sound for a sec, because so many people call her the vocal Bible, and that's not hyperbole. Jasmine, do you want me to break that down a little?
Please do. And be gentle with us non-musicians. Explain why singers and producers keep pointing back to Brandy's records.
All right. Short version, Brandy's voice is an instrument of nuance. She layered vocals in ways that felt conversational and intimate, like you were in the room with her. She used tight, stacked harmonies, subtle pitch bends, and offbeat phrasing that added rhythmic interest. On tracks like Almost Doesn't Count and Have You Ever, she showed restraint and emotional timing, not always belting the hardest note, but finding the emotional center. That approach shaped how modern R&B vocalists think about texture and arrangement.
That description helps me hear her differently even now. The stacked harmonies, I remember listening and being like, who is doing the background? It was often her. She was building entire harmonic landscapes herself.
Yep. And producers would let her experiment with timbre, like breathy close mic moments versus clear, rounded tones. Her runs weren't always about speed. They were about micro-interval movement, those little half-step slides that pull at you emotionally. A lot of artists today emulate that. The emotional microphrasing, the layered textures, that's the lineage.
It's interesting to hear it parsed out because on the cultural side, Brandy's influence shows up in ways beyond vocal technique. She was a template for representation on TV. The idea that a black teen girl could be the center of a sitcom and have it be a mainstream success. Moshe ran for 6 seasons. That's longevity and visibility during a formative time for many of our listeners.
And Cinderella, let's not underplay that. A televised musical with a diverse cast in the late 90s? That was a statement. It put a black Cinderella in prime-time living rooms during a moment when representation was often sparse.
So, why does this star matter now in 2026? On one hand, it's about longevity. Brandy's career has had highs and lows, public scrutiny, comebacks, creative turns, and the star is an acknowledgement of an enduring cultural footprint. On another hand, there's the conversation about delayed recognition for Black women in entertainment. This star is both a celebration and a correction of the record, if you ask me.
Yeah, plus the Walk of Fame has its own gatekeeping. It requires nomination, sometimes a sponsor, fees, and committee approval. So it's not always a pure meritocracy. When she gets a star, it signals that peers, industry, and fans converge to push her legacy forward. That matters. It's institutional recognition that matches the fan memory.
Right. And that institutional nod sits next to the fan love. On ceremony day, picture it with me. Hollywood Boulevard, the clack of camera shutters, fans with old posters and mixtapes, maybe a Moshe lunchbox or a Cinderella DVD being held up, people chanting, cars honking. I can hear it.
I can smell it too. Hot street food, the city energy. I'd expect speeches from some of her collaborators, producers who shaped Never Say Never, maybe castmates from Moshe, family. You might even get contemporary artists influenced by her, sending clips or showing up in person. And Brandy herself? I hope she talks about the arc, the teenage discovery, the pressure, the creative choices, the community that carried her.
Totally. And I want us to invite listeners into the moment. If you're listening and you grew up with Brandy, think about your first Brandy memory. Was it that first cassette of hers, the Moshe episode that made you feel seen, or the Cinderella moment? Text us, DM us, tweet, however you like. Share your favorite track, your earliest concert memory, that night you put The Boy Is Mine on repeat. Let's collect those memories.
Ooh, I'll throw mine out there. My first memory was layering a cappella harmonies in choir after school and trying to mimic her runs. I remember thinking, I want to make chords sound like that. I still teach young singers to use space the way she does.
Oh, Marcus. Mine is simpler. Sitting on my mom's couch, flipping channels and seeing Moshe for the first time. I didn't have a role model who looked like me on TV in that way, and it felt private and huge at the same time. It shaped how I saw possibilities.
That's the power of cultural moments. They feel small in the moment, but echo for decades. This star gives people a reason to revisit her catalog, to study her technique, to rewatch Moshe, to introduce younger listeners to what shaped modern R&B.
So, practical note, if you're planning to be on Hollywood Boulevard March 30th, expect crowds, get there early, plan transit, and be kind to each other. If you can't make it, turn on a Brandy album that day. Play Never Say Never front to back. Rewatch Cinderella. Make a playlist and share it with friends who need that memory fix.
And if you're a singer or a producer, take a minute to actually listen like a student. Isolate background layers, slow down passages, feel how she breathes into phrases. There's a masterclass in there.
Before we go, quick shout. This moment is a celebration of artistry and resilience. Brandy's star is a public marker of a private lifetime of craft. It's for the fans who kept her music alive and for the artists who carry her influence forward. Marcus, any final words?
Just this. Bravo, Brandy. You made art that taught people how to sing and how to feel. That star is well earned. And to listeners, revisit the songs, tell your stories, and celebrate publicly and privately. This is our culture being honored.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for joining me, Marcus. And to everyone listening, tell us your first Brandy memory. We'll read some on the next episode. Play her music tonight. Wear something nostalgic. Celebrate. I'll see you on Hollywood Boulevard, metaphorically, if not literally. This is Jasmine Cole, closing out this special on Brandy's Walk of Fame. Bye for now.
Bye. Love you, Brandy. Love you, folks. Catch you next time.